Go. Shalom, family. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Nus Babal. This your brother Dalayahu Yasharal, and we bring you guys more global news coverage. Something I was just made aware of that I want to share with you guys. Um, Again, welcome. Hope you're having a good day. But this is very important news, global news. We know it's a lot of conflicts in the earth right now. Too many nations at war to even really name. But one thing is it affects us, even though we're on the continent of Africa, we're a global based news platform and we Hebrew biblically based, right? That's our foundation, that's our outlook. So anytime again this war in Israel is escalating, which we know is like a precursor to a larger scale conflict with all the different associations involved in the war, right? We want to bring you guys more information about that. So we're gonna get right into this video, and we just talking about this no-fly zone that's going on with pretty much all commercial flights into Israel to the land, right? That area, that greater area, the Levant area, all that is being affected at this point. So this is maybe like an escalation to things to come, certain like that. So let's get into it. Let's check out this little YouTube video and see what the brother talking about. What he talking about?
Big breaking emergency news. Flights are now being canceled until April 2025. That is what is being announced right now. And this is big because this is a warning sign that we could see things pop off very soon. All right. This is a major announcement. And this is also a major economic hit. So, this announcement of flights being shut down for this long, leaving and coming into the US and leaving the US into certain countries, this is major, right? So let's dive into the details here really quick. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on all this big, urgent news, right? So there's a lot of big stories going on right now. This is one of the biggest ones that we're dealing with, and multiple different airliners have announced that they are shutting down and suspending flights for months, for almost 8 months. This is being announced. So, this is a major decision, and we could see a cascading effect. We could see more flights and more airliners announce and make similar decisions as well, right? So, if you have any family that's overseas right now, let them know, okay? And warn them because they could be trapped in these situations. We have multiple things going on. We have major wars breaking out, and we also have this quote health emergency that was just declared too.
Yeah.
And we're seeing travel restrictions and screenings and quarantines already being set up for that as well. So we could see multiple different things that could shut down travel and shut down flights coming, even more, right? Even more coming. So let's get into the details here. So there's a lot of news, right? We are having arrivals of Blinken as well. He just arrived in Tel Aviv as the U.S. is pushing for a Gaza ceasefire. Okay, he delayed his trip a couple days ago because there was worry that this attack was going to happen. But now he is in Tel Aviv, and he is there supposedly for these ceasefire negotiations. Okay, and also just today in Tel Aviv, they just had a bombing attack, right? An alleged bomber that blew themselves up in Tel Aviv, right, in the middle of the city. This just happened today as well, right? So lots of things are developing in this part of the world. And we also have flights being canceled too. So check this out. American Airlines has announced a suspension of flights to and from Israel until April 2025
Long time.
amid regional tensions caused by Israel's conflict with Gaza and Iran, right? And it says that American airline flights have been removed from the booking systems until April 2025 which means there will be no direct flights to Israel during the coming winter season. All right, so flights to there and flights leaving are being shut down until April 2025 from one of the biggest airline providers for people traveling to the US in this region. All right, so this is a major announcement. They could have some type of preemptive knowledge, or the risk assessment is too high, and they are now canceling out all flights until April 2025. That's 8 months. That's a big decision. It's not like they're just canceling it for 30 days or 60 days until we see a response attack. So be on the lookout for this part of the world to have more escalations as well. And also in Europe too, we have some news and updates on that. I'll get to that in just a second. But also several international airlines, including Lufthansa, Austrian, Iberia, and Brussels Airlines, have all suspended flights to Israel as well. All right, so multiple different countries are suspending flights there to and from. And if something pops off, there could be a situation where there are no flights to even get out, right? That is what happens a lot of times because everyone tries to leave at once, and all the flights that are available get booked up. And then there normally would be more, but they've all been shut down. All right, so be on high alert. The U.S. is going to be directly involved, most likely, in any type of situation, any type of retaliation from Iran. We have major military assets there right now. Secretary of State is in Tel Aviv. And we also have U.S. CENTCOM says it destroyed one Houthi uncrewed aerial vehicle in Yemen, right? It says CENTCOM said on Sunday its forces successfully destroyed one Houthi drone in Yemen, right? So the U.S. is already directly involved in these situations, and Biden also just made a statement on this too. He said, quote, "Not giving up, and it's still possible to reach a hostage release deal," right? That was his comment just today as well. He was asked about what he thinks about the negotiations, and he said, "We're not giving up, and it's still possible that we could have a hostage release." All right, we'll see if that happens, but hopefully we do have peace in this part of the world because it's dragging the U.S. as well into a major war conflict, these escalations that are happening. Okay. We also have reports coming out of Europe. We have Belarus just announced and said that troops will be deployed along the entire border with Ukraine. Right. So this is a big development after what's going on with Ukraine and Russia right now. Okay, Ukraine has become very brazen in taking back and advancing into these territories. Okay, and Belarus is now worried that they could have the same thing happen to them, right? That's why this is a major development, because they probably see the intel and probably see they're getting a little confident here, right? They're getting a little cocky here, and they might actually invade Belarus as well.
I just want to pause it right there because I want to just talk about something he said. I was just looking for the right moment to stop it because he's going to get to some other stuff I want to talk about. But what he said about how this war is affecting America is dragging America down. They're getting dragged into the war. You know, to my people in America, you know, there's something we got to pay attention to because we know that America involved in a lot of wars. They support a lot of wars. They fund a lot of wars. And a lot of the time it just happened, you know, everything just go on without a hitch. But sometimes this stuff could really affect the country, the economy, and the citizens, right? So these things we got to talk about. And again, this is a global tribal platform. And he about to get into something that actually going to have more commentary about at the end, how he talking about he don't feel like he should travel. You know what I'm saying? We should travel pretty much. He gonna stay in the United States forever. You know, a lot of people not interested in fleeing Babylon or pretty much removing themselves from all of this, what we see happening. Some people like, you know, just prepare. So I think that's why I wanted to touch on this a little bit. We're gonna get to that. You can anticipate that statement coming up from him. He's gonna talk about it a little bit more. So we gotta I really want to again preset the atmosphere and environment and really phrase the question like, what side are we gonna be on? If we see the conditions continue to deteriorate, are we gonna just like prepare to take more, or are we gonna prepare to find greener pastures, safer environment, safer countries, better economically viable countries, whatever the case may be? So I think it's also a great divide happening, where as we see the country deteriorate, the wars increase, the killings increase, everything deteriorate, the prices increase, and it's a camps being involved like starting to be created as far as I'm gonna just stay here camp and deal with it, or I'm gonna seek, you know what I'm saying, the global perspective. So that's what I want to just pose that to everybody, because it's something that we all gotta really look in the mirror and ask ourselves where we stand on these issues and the solution, right? What's the solution?
So they are preemptively getting on top of this and sending their military to the border with Ukraine, right? So that situation is not over as well. There's been major escalations, and we could see a response from Russia.
This AI tool will take your idea and create a complete book, complete with design, images.
Okay. We could see a major response to stop the bleeding.
Major.
Right? We could be in a situation where things are deteriorating and there has to be a big response to get people's attention and to get them to stop. Right? That is what we could see happen between Russia and Ukraine as well, and Russia and NATO even, right? There's been a lot of saber rattling going on, and Belarus is a close ally of Russia, so they could see the intel, right? They might have intel that they could be invaded next, okay? And we could potentially even see NATO countries involved in these incursions soon as well, right? They're already using NATO military equipment and NATO weapons, NATO vehicles, NATO aircraft. All these things are already being used. The only thing different would be is that the operator would be switched to a NATO troop instead of a Ukrainian. Okay, so we are really close to war on that front as well too. The US and NATO getting potentially dragged into a major war on that front. Okay. And just a couple years ago, all these fronts were not this extreme, right? There wasn't all this chaos. These wars, there's always been conflict going on, right? Especially in the Middle East, especially between Iran and Israel. But things are really reaching a tipping point. And there's even reports that Iran potentially has nuclear weapons.
You know,
right?
we do. Y'all do.
And
what?
This has been reported for a few years now that they're very close, but it is now heavily rumored that they have them now. They have the enrichment capabilities for uranium, and they are using it.
Ain't nobody trying to bring a knife to a fight.
That could be a surprise that we see as well. And remember just a few months ago, all this talk about the draft as well too, okay? They've been talking about it in the US. They were talking about women even having to join the draft. All right, do you remember this? And in Europe as well too, there was major talk. Even top generals were saying that in the UK, we're saying that we might have to have a draft very soon because the recruitment numbers are extremely low and their forces are dwindling, and this war is ramping up, right? So we could see a military draft implemented as well too. That's definitely one of the cards that they're talking about. Okay, because even the US, it's facing a very similar issue with recruitment numbers. They're at all-time low. There's been a major demoralization of the military, and that's why the recruitment numbers have been very low, and things like that could be turned around. But there needs to be less major wars like this happening. Right, that alone will increase. When people see major wars happening, that drives people away. First of all, it encourages some people, right, but it drives people away overall. And then there's also been a demoralization campaign just on the societal fabric of the military as well. Okay, trying to break it down and trying to change it from the inside out. Okay, that also drives away a lot of people as well. So there's multiple issues going on, and we could see potentially a military draft in the future. I'm not saying it's coming in the next month or anything like that, but maybe in the next few years, this announcement could be made, or if there is a major escalation like Article 5 has to be activated from NATO. So let me know what you guys think down below. These flights being canceled until April 2025. Right, that's a long time, and that's a major warning sign. They wouldn't shut down this commerce. They make money from this. All right, they wouldn't shut down this major commerce hub unless it's more of a risk than the money they are making. Okay, so we could see more airlines follow suit, and we also could see them follow suit with this other stuff too, with this health emergency going on. Okay,
that's another
that
issue
I was reporting on yesterday, giving you guys updates on. Multiple different countries are announcing travel restrictions. Okay, like China, countries in Europe are doing this. Okay, Egypt, countries all over the world are implementing these travel restrictions for that as well too, and we could start seeing flights being restricted, shut down, and rules and regulations, right, to go in and out of certain countries. We know that's part of one of their plans that they have is to shut down air travel. Okay, and if you've booked any flights, if you've looked at any flights or anything like that, it even has a carbon number on it. It tells you how much carbon you're using for it. Okay, that's also in the cards, is to restrict travel based on carbon allowances too. All right, so there's multiple different fronts that are a threat to travel, and I don't travel or anything anyways. I don't go anywhere unless it's traveling in my RV. I don't travel internationally. I don't go to any other countries.
You sound like an American.
I've never even been to other countries, right? So this isn't really an issue for me, but I know people do have family over there and do business, and they could be separated from their family in an instant. These things could be shut down. These things could be locked down. So make sure you are prepared. Make sure you are ready and stocked up. Right? We are in this season where it seems like a lot of big things are coming. All right, so just be prepared, be ready, have your tanks filled up, ready to go, your prepper pantry stocked up. I appreciate that. I hope you guys have big blessings for your life, your family.
Yeah, man. So that's what it is, fam. I just that was an interesting video. You know what I'm saying? That's like the global type of news update we want to bring to the people. I'm not in the States. I'm from the States, so I empathize. I understand everything he's saying, what's going on over there. I understood the climate before I left, which is why I left. And now we see these things play out. It's 3 years later. Again, the water's starting to boil a little bit. Inflation high, jobs low, the war going on. It's so much confusion. It's Babylon. Anyway, we're looking at this from a scriptural perspective, and that's interesting. Like the man say, he only traveled his RV. He love good old America. He ain't going nowhere. So he stopped up. So that's it. As we see they start to restrict travel, at least to that area, right, to the war zone, which it makes sense. Nobody want to fly over the war zone. We don't need casualties on the airplanes, or nobody need that, especially people who are advocates of travel, right? But we got to start considering, you know what I'm saying, other options. That's all I'm saying. That's the whole point. And, you know, again, I'm Dalayahu Yasharal. I'm living for Yahuah ministry. You know, Yahuah means so much to me in my life and just has helped me mold and make my path and just showed me the path, right? And I just trust in his word. And that's what this branch of the ministry was about. Nus Babal, flee Babylon, because since being in this truth in 2012, 2011, since 2013, I was traveling. I started studying about Babylon and made it consistent to try to leave. So went to South America, came back after a couple of years, came to Africa. So been traveling around, but this has been the concept. We know we preparing for something. And this is just, it was just a thought or idea of like, you know, everything we went through in this expatriation journey, et cetera, everything we learned here in Africa. The goal is to turn around and again, create a platform to make it easier for the next brothers, sisters, families, you know, whoever want to come to Africa. Again, Tanzania is where we at. You know, so much to do here. Beautiful natural scenery, tourism. Again, the safaris, the breathtaking landscape is unbelievable. Zanzibar, again, me being from Miami, Florida, having two countries in one, the island, Zanzibar, and then the mainland, Tanzania, is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Just you got the Caribbean vibe. So right in the middle of the world, again, the Southern Hemisphere, very peaceful, very relaxed atmosphere. So it's so many options. And we can't be speaking from their limited perspective, like, oh, I never been nowhere. I ain't never gonna go nowhere. I'm finna die in America. You know, I'm finna die in America. And it's like, again, everybody got their own opinion. That's America, where they love to say that freedom of speech and everybody own opinion. But when we get to talk about these scriptures and the word and our master and what he said in his word, so as far as, again, from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, about flee Babylon, Genesis chapter 12, he called Abraham out and told him to go to the place he's going to show him. Or Revelation 18, where the Messiah is saying in the end time, flee this place so you don't be cut off in her iniquity. So that is what we all about, just purporting this message and being advocates of travel, you know what I'm saying, tourism, expatriation. I'm available for you guys. Let's get on the one-on-one call or something, because everybody got questions about what they need to do to leave and stuff like that. But from somebody that has traveled the world, you know, multiple different countries, has really expatriated twice, more than one time, did it, came back, different country, shipped containers, did a lot, you know what I'm saying, built houses in other countries. So international real estate investor, et cetera, et cetera. But the point is, most importantly, I serve Yahuah, and we know that these things is going to come to pass. We know what's happening. We got the playbook, right? We know conditions going to continue to deteriorate. Things going to continue to get more unstable. So again, Africa always been a refuge for the children of Yasharal, just looking back historically, right? From Moses, right, to Yahushua, who I mentioned, they all fled to Africa for some type of refuge. So it is what it is. The scriptures speak on these things, and as we can continue to see news come out, we want to bring it to you, give our perspective, but also provide solutions. And that's the key I want to talk about. We're not here to just like, oh, this wrong, and it's a war over there, and this place not good, that place not good. We want to provide solutions. And so that's what we're here for. With that said, I'm Dalayahu, your brother. Hope this made sense. Let's start the conversation in the bottom. Let me know what y'all think. If some people just like, I'm going to hunker down and prepare, or I might consider sliding. You feel me? So it's a great debate happening, and I'm so excited to be a part of this discussion. That's it, man. So shalom, family. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Holla at your brother.